Hey, it's me, Jo, from Jo's Sleep and Slim Down Journey, and I'm really excited to be here. Literally, aren't we, Miss Mary? Yes. So I was just chatting away with Aly from Manjaro with Aly and Lorri from GLP-1 Journey with in Review, and it's like I've not been on YouTube for ages, and I'm not. It's because I've been really unwell, but I've not told you why I've been unwell, have I? So if you've got a couple of minutes, sit down, relax, and chill as that thrill. Who sang that? Sit down, relax, and chill as I thrill. The K is back and I'm not here to heal. Is that it? I can't remember. Anyway, I digress. So what has been happening? Well, some of you may know that I've started my new job and it is wonderful. I'm absolutely loving my new job. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. I'm loving it like this. I'm loving it. But this is my 7th week now, and I've had 3 fibromyalgia flare-ups. And I think from week 5, I started getting some proper work. So your first 4 or 5 weeks, it was the onboarding, so they take it easy. But now I've got my my projects coming in, and I'm loving it. I'm having such a good time. But when you're working and you're working with fibromyalgia as well, it's so exhausting. And I've had really, really bad brain fog, which isn't good when I'm trying to show that I'm a pretty good person to be working there. Thankfully, they've kept me on. And I'm really thankful because I got my first paycheck the other day. Oh my goodness. I'm so thankful for that. Because, I was in a whole lot of debt. Papa was a rolling stone, if you know what I mean. So my first paycheck, it's already been spent, but it's been spent on bills. So that's good news. But I said I was going to tell you about my issues. So anyway, the reason why I actually started this job was because first of all, the company headhunted me, which is great. It is really good to see that people headhunt you. I've got a really good LinkedIn profile about the things that I do. So I got headhunted. But the reason why I took the job on was because A, it was going to be working remotely. So I could be working from home. I'll be working with the international markets. So I'll be working with the US, with Europe, and with Japan. So I've been loving working with the Japanese. But also, I was having an appointment. Finally, I was going to get an appointment with the endocrinologist on the 29th of May. So I started my new job on the 27th of April, kind of thinking, but I've got the appointment with the endocrinologist, all will be well. Let me tell you about this appointment. Okay, before I do, did you spot my ring? I can fit into my ring now. Yay! I can fit into this. However, with that said, I was laughing with Aly a moment ago because I've said I've not gone on the scales. Why haven't I gone on the scales? Well, you know my thoughts about the scales, but the reality is that me and King Zep, I call it King Zep because Traces of Twan's Life, she said 15 mg of tirzepatide is King Zep. I'm on Manjaro, but I am on 15 mg. Well, because I've been so knackered and so exhausted, I've not really had time to prepare my 1 meal a day. I've just been like working and then going straight to sleep. So this is why I've not been able to catch up on most of your videos, seeing what's going off on Instagram, celebrating Stealth Health India. She's doing famously well. So we've got to do the celebration. Keep an eye out. Watching Jen, JC Calamity Jane, she went to Toronto. Not had a chance to watch those videos yet. And so I've got to catch up with everybody. But as I say, I've been so exhausted that yesterday I ordered from DoughNotts. Now DoughNotts is an amazing place in Nottingham that says they've been started in Nottingham. They make donuts and cookies. They are incredible. I ordered 4 and I ate 3 donuts yesterday. Now, I'm a carnivore for a start. I'm also very, very intolerant to wheat, to artificial sweetness, to dairy. Well, when I say dairy, I mean lactose. All of the things that are in donuts. So I'm eating foods that are then causing me to have an inflammation. So that is why I've not stepped on the scales. I need to be making better decisions about my food choices. And I've not been making those great decisions because I've been exhausted. And I'm sort of like relying on Colin the CPAP machine more and more, just so I can sleep and get some like much needed rest and respite. And then just sugar and caffeine. And I'm allergic to caffeine as well. It's ridiculous. So I'm in a perpetual cycle of bad choices while still on 15 mg of tirzepatide. So why is this happening? Well, I had my appointment on the 29th of May. And I was expecting an appointment with the endocrinologist. It was in the renal clinic. So I was thinking, well, maybe it's a renal specialist as well, because obviously we know I've got chronic kidney disease. But it was with a hypertension specialist. And the hypertension specialist was over the moon. The 29th of May was the last day of the UK heat wave. And it was a Friday afternoon. I don't know if that was shaping the person's decisions, but they just wanted me in and wanted me out. So he was congratulating me on the fact that my blood pressure is now coming into normal levels. And then I told him that I've lost all of this weight after starting on Mounjaro and taking on my CPAP, using the CPAP machine after being diagnosed with severe sleep apnea. But I was saying, I've still got the problems with my heart. The sinus tachycardia is still a problem. I've just had, because when I went to see him, I was just getting over my second fibromyalgia flare-up. And I said, I'm getting the muscle weaknesses, I'm getting severe fatigue, I'm getting cognitive disturbances. And his thoughts were, there's no problem. You've just got to live with fibromyalgia. Well, because I was actually referred to endocrinology, the reality was that somebody thought I had a hormone problem. And when you look at my actual clinical symptoms and the chronology of it all, there's definitely something going on. I have low potassium, instances of low potassium and electrolyte spikes. We know already that the sinus tachycardia is not caused by a heart issue. It's caused by a stimulant that is affecting my heart. So cardiology thought that it could be aldosterone as well as the adrenaline. And we know Miss Mary suffers with the anxiety of it all whenever I'm feeling anxious and my adrenaline and aldosterone is spiking. But now this hypertension specialist thought that there's nothing that I need to worry about because my hypertension is in order and fibromyalgia is a bitch. He didn't say fibromyalgia is a bitch, but he kind of said, well, it's just something that people have to live with. Well, I made a complaint and put a complaint through to PELS, which is, I think it's called Patient. I can't remember what it is, but it's a service that you use with the NHS in the UK. And the complaint wasn't about the consultant himself. That wasn't what I was complaining about. I was complaining about the fact that my chronological symptoms and my clinical episodes were not taken into account, and therefore it just felt like I was in and out and being really dismissed. And even on my letter it said fibromyalgia and fatigue isn't anything that we can use as diagnosis, so we're just really happy that her hypertension is under control. And I'm sure, and then this was the kicker, it said, and I'm sure that when she gets her obesity under control, that hypertension she'll be able to come off the antihypertensives. Well, I don't know if you've ever seen a photo of my dad. My dad is in the peak physical condition, even now. And he's had hypertension since he was late 30s, and he's got an enlarged heart. And there's never been any instance of obesity with him and my grandmother, who did sadly pass away from a stroke because she also had hypertension and cardiovascular issues. So definitely a family history of it. I'm sadly the only one with obesity, but they look at obesity and say, well, that's your problem. If you only lost some weight, then you would feel much better. And you know what? There is some truth to that. But we also know now that obesity isn't just a willpower problem. It's not just because someone's having a bad week and chooses to buy 4 donuts, or that they're exhausted and so they can't cook and they can't do exercises. Obesity is a metabolic disorder. And that's why GLP-1 is a really good way to resolve some of those problems, but along with the specialist support that you get from your healthcare teams. I'm wondering why I've got this bright light glare. It's like it's like my angels on my I've got an angel on my on my shoulder, which is a good thing. But what I'm telling you folks is, whatever it is that we're doing for this journey, whether you're on a sleep journey, whether you're on a slim down journey, whether you're just trying to lose weight for summer, whether you're trying to get better because of the chronic illnesses that you have, one answer is not the solution. And you've got to work to find the solution. But you know already you've been putting in the hours. You've been putting in so many hours. But if you're not getting anywhere, then you need to seek additional support. Whether that is getting some support from a healthcare advisor who might actually prescribe you something else, because it might be that you need your medication revisiting. Maybe you need a GLP-1. And there's no shame in needing GLP-1s. GLP-1s work brilliantly, but they work especially well when you are then making the decisions on eating much better. I'm a carnivore. Those donuts should never have been in my, even in my delivery inbox. I'm glad to be supporting DoughNotts though, so don't. However, with that said, when you're on a GLP-1, you're supposed to be doing the right things. You're supposed to be prioritising protein. You're supposed to be getting your fibre. You're supposed to be making sure you get your water. And then when you can, you really are supposed to be doing more activity, whether it's strength training, resistance training, or just simple movement. Have you seen Harjareen? Harjareen's doing amazing now. She's got that electric bike. She's running. And this all started from her walking. She was walking this time last year. And now look at her. So, folks, I'm not getting on the scales this week. I'm not getting on the scales because I know it's been a bad week. But I'm owning it. There's no point me stepping on the scales to tell you it's a bad week, because I've just told you it's a bad week. I'll get on the scales next week, because this week I'm going to try and make a difference. I'm going to see my godsons. I'm being picked up in a moment, so I'm going to go and see my godsons. Miss Mary, what will you be doing? Well, it seems like Miss Mary's already been eating, but Miss Mary's a carnivore as well, so she's on the right track. But I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you all make the right decisions for you, your health, and enjoy a great time with family and friends and all your loved ones. So until then, sleep well, slim down, and I'll see you next time.